Join me as I delve into each Ranger that made up my favorite TV series of all time, Power Rangers Dino Thunder.
We're not here to play.
Oh, really?
We'll get into their intricacies, their flaws, and the powers that made them who they were.
That's the part I'm looking forward to. You guys ready?
Oh yeah.
This is a Dino Thunder retrospective, starting with Connor, Kira, and Ethan. Let's roll.
You gotta be kidding me. What? It's better than yours.
Connor McKnight, a soccer player who stumbles upon a lab kept secret by Tommy Oliver, takes the red dino gem and becomes the Dino Thunder Red Ranger. Connor commands the Tyrannosaur, Red Raptor, and wields the Tyranno Staff. I was obsessed as a kid. I had a Dino Thunder red mask, the Thunder Max saber, blaster, thing, the belt, just all the roleplay items. I loved this character. Now, growing up, I started noticing more of his flaws. Much like his Ranger teammates, Connor is written as a very strong stereotype. He's the jock. He isn't interested in schoolwork. He just wants to have fun, doing cool things, and date girls. Like, that's his whole personality. He isn't written awfully, but it's very apparent what he's all about. In the first few episodes, he's consistently teasing Ethan for being a nerd and even attempting to hit on Kira. Once he's taken on his new powers, they start to interfere with his social life, leading him to contemplate giving them up entirely. But after saving a young girl from one of Mesogog's soldiers, he realizes his responsibility and holds on to his Dino Gem. I love this aspect of him. Like, he gets it. It's the parts of a leader you'd expect. My only problems came when, as the show progressed, he was kinda still a jerk.
I know Krista from math class. She's kind of deep. And you're, well...
Not deep?
I didn't want to say it.
You guys are...
In the episode Passion of Connor, he pretends to enjoy a girl's eco-friendly stances just to get close to her. Later, he has a nice talk with Dr. Oliver, learns his mistakes, and even saves the girl from danger in the end. And it's like, that is so amazing, right? Like, he's learning. But also, this episode was so late in the series, it's literally episode 28. Sometimes I also just don't really understand him. When Kira goes through a mood change due to a monster holding her under mind control, she didn't want to hang out with her teammates, to which Connor says,
You know, when someone doesn't want to hang out with people, they usually come up with some sort of excuse.
why does she have to hang out with you because you're friends? Like, why can't she just not want to? Alright, anyway. He doesn't start to really improve until, like, the end of the show, like, near the very end. And I mean, that doesn't, like, make him a bad ranger, it just makes him a bad person. Okay, I wrote that line really early on because I thought it was funny. He's not actually that bad. My attitude towards Connor changed up quite a bit from childhood to now, but I've always kept appreciation for him as a leader, especially with how well he manages to keep up with Tommy. He even had some of the funniest lines in the show.
Well...
What, is someone gonna tell me what they really think?
I will.
Connor.
No,
Connor was the first member of the team to achieve Super Dino mode and was the initial ranger to confront Trent about his weakening condition, wanting to assure he was alright. When Kira has hesitations about fighting Trent whilst he'd been under the hold of the white dino gem, he even made crystal clear to her that they had to do whatever it takes to stop him to keep the fate of the city safe as a whole. That made me really impressed with his assertion as Red Ranger. You do the absolute best you can, even if the outcome is unfavorable. Connor later is given the powers of the Triassic Ranger just because, I guess. I don't know. He doesn't really do anything to, like, warrant it. Tommy and Trent raise the Triassic shield out of a body of water. Connor has visions about it for some reason and runs over to retrieve the shield, and now he has it. Cool, I suppose. Further along, again in Passion of Connor, he has a great focus episode dealing with his own confidence that results in him being granted the Triassic Battleizer through his own strength. With Triassic mode, he also commands the Mesodon rover. Connor leads the fight against Mesogog in the end and their team to a victory. Again, he wasn't the greatest person all the way through, but I appreciate his leadership skills and focus on keeping the city safe. As a kid, he really made me want to become a Red Ranger.
I'm at the front, but you're still at the back. Oh, can you tell me where you're at?
Don't even say it.
Kira Ford is fierce. She discovers Tommy Oliver's lab along with Connor and Ethan, takes hold of the yellow Dino Gem, and becomes the Dino Thunder Yellow Ranger. She commands the Terrazord and Yellow Raptor and wields the Terra Grips. Kira is a singer and songwriter, as is Emma Lahana in real life, and that plays into the show. She sings a few different tracks throughout Dino Thunder as part of performances.
And I know that you know that I will keep on waiting.
They're very mid-2000s songs, but they're nice for what they are. I kind of wish they went a little further with it, maybe have her sing insert rock songs to be played during fight scenes. I mean, Dino Thunder started production in late 2003, which was 10 years after Mighty Morphin, and they brought Tommy back and are doing dinosaurs again. Why not bring back vocal tracks for the fights? I don't know. She does get focus episodes, mainly involving music, meeting a friend who'd gotten famous and helping them to realize their true worth even after that friend shoved her off. Kira also has an episode in which she signs with a record label that changes her image, only to later realize her friends like her the way she is.
What? Is someone gonna tell me what they really think?
I will. Connor.
She also plays a big role in White Thunder, to which she and Trent had a connection going whilst the Rangers noticed something off about him. She wants the best for Trent and is the one holding on to his good nature even when her teammates pass doubts about his truthfulness. She's the reason Trent begins to regain control over who he is, and without her, who knows just how the White Ranger's story could have gone then forward. Kira is a character that never really frustrated me at all. I liked her as a ranger just as much as I did growing up. Outside Connor, she's probably also like the most rude at times, which I thought was funny because it's not always there, but it is there.
Little boy, why don't you step aside?
Little boy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just got lost.
Lost?
Yeah, as in not found, but I'm fine. Are we leaving?
That must be them.
Wow, good call, Connor.
Look, I just don't feel like spending any more time with you guys than I really have to, okay?
Okay, that wasn't fair because she was under mind control, but it still counts. Kira also weirdly seems to be the one always investigating things. When a Dinozord egg is found out, she and Connor go to check it out. During a museum field trip, she goes and finds Tyrannodrones ending up under the control of an old creature. When an ancient pharaoh comes to life, she goes to find out more and ends up fighting it. Like, she's always on the hunt or being sent out to do things that end up with her fighting. She's a strong hand to the team and even enjoys helping Tommy out in the lab, sorting inventory and looking through old photos.
Wow. Nice hair.
Kira is a girly girl, but not where I consider it a stereotype as I did with both Connor and Ethan's characters. Here and there, she'll make "this boy is cute" jokes, but it's never consistent enough to become annoying. Kira Ford is one of my favorite Yellow Rangers of all time. I even afforded a cosplay of Dino Thunder Yellow in late 2022 to fulfill my dream of finally becoming a Ranger from Dino Thunder. Kira is a strong member of the team and one that I had always loved seeing come back.
It's Marty the Mackerel. He'll hook us the cartoon spectacular. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Ethan. The Dino Thunder Blue Ranger and commander of the Tricerazord, Blue Raptor, and wielder of the Tricera Shield. My childhood inspiration. Growing up and being 5 at the time of Dino Thunder, seeing a black teen on TV as the Blue Ranger was so important to me, especially considering I'd grown up with Dino Thunder more than any other series. He's the nerd. I'm a nerd. He likes video games. I like video games. I'm like, let's go, dude. Being the nerd, you can almost always find scenes of him sitting at a computer.
I told my mom to pick her up at work.
It actually surprised me that he didn't help work on any technology that'd be utilized in their Ranger arsenal, not even further on in the series. He's got a good few focus episodes, and unfortunately, at least to me, not all of them are great, or like even good. And I say that with Dino Thunder literally being my favorite TV show of all time. In Game On, both he and Kira end up sucked into a computer game and having to fight off Triptoids before being let out alongside one of the game's characters. This episode feels like it drags on longer than it should and doesn't really have much to do with Ethan, but it seems like it's a focus episode. I don't know, it's weird. Bully for Ethan is one of the weirdest episodes in the entire franchise. Oh my lord. Ethan runs into the world's most stereotypical TV show bully on the planet who wants to fight him. The bully's threats are actually kind of unsettling and serious, strangely for Power Rangers, and they later both end up in detention.
1 hour. And if you don't come back, I'm coming looking for you. And you won't like it when I find you.
At the fight after school, right as the bully's ready to kick his face in, Ethan makes a plea to show him something that could help him with his soccer skills. He pulls out a laptop and shows someone kicking a ball and how the bully can correct his shot. What? The bully kicks a ball and now he's like, you know what? You alright. And the episode ends. I hate this episode so much. It's so corny. It's unrealistic. It's scary for no reason early on for Ethan. And it's a waste of time. If I had a bully in high school and I was like, hey, look, I know you trying to scrap, but like, look at this. And I pulled out a Dell laptop and showed him, this is what you look like kicking a soccer ball. But fortunately, these episodes did not affect my stance on Ethan as a whole. His chemistry with the rest of the cast, especially Connor and Kira, is beautiful. They all seem like genuine friends, and it brings a smile seeing him laughing and making jokes with his team.
Dinosaur eggs all over the place.
You think this is what Easter was like millions of years ago?
How does he come up with this stuff?
Anyone Ethan comes in contact with either just becomes great themselves or gels extremely well. He and Connor have a nice sort of brotherly bickering filled yet respectful relationship. He and Kira seem like best friends at times, and Ethan also is able to bring out the nice side in Cassidy, the at one point stuck-up girl who he begins dating later on in the show. Okay, so I wrote this way before I even finished like my 7th watch through of Dino Thunder in my life, and I actually forgot that Ethan doesn't end up getting with Cassidy in the end. It's actually this girl that came in the last 2 episodes who he has more in common with, and it made me really realize just how much I appreciate the episode where he did go out with Cassidy, you know, and in the end he realized that, you know, they don't really have too much in common and that he doesn't necessarily need to date anyone to feel fulfilled. And I really appreciate that. I think that's a great message, and I love that for Ethan. I love that for Cassidy. They both were very mature in that, and I just think it's a wonderful thing to point out. And yeah, it just wasn't in my script originally, but I wanted to point that out for sure because it was a really big thing for Ethan.
But do you think you still might have time to be friends?
Friends? Yeah, that'd be great.
Ethan is also the comedic relief during fight scenes and just morphed footage overall.
That was just low.
Since when do they have bad Power Rangers?
I want you to get a message to the Black Ranger.
You ever heard of email?
Who is it?
And how come he gets the fat helmet?
Now, my issues with Ethan aren't even anything to do with Ethan, really, but how the show misses the mark with him at points. He loves video games and just tech in general. That's evident, and like, that's what he is. Why not have him help Haley or even learn about creating the tech they use as Rangers? Later in the show, Haley creates a new bike specifically for Ethan and literally no one else for no reason other than she felt like it. But really, we all know it's so they can justify selling a toy of this bike.
Hey, I want one of those too!
The hovercraft cycle is so sick, but the fact that it came out of absolutely nowhere still bothers me because it was the perfect time to allow Ethan to make something himself. It also just doesn't make sense considering he and Haley don't have a friendly enough connection to warrant her making him and only him this extremely specific new bike. It's implied that Ethan stayed with her after its reveal and helped with adding the flight gimmick, but even still, that's the only thing in the show that he's contributed his tech knowledge to in regards to the Ranger arsenal. Even still, I love Ethan. As a black kid growing up, he was so special to me. I just wish they allowed his character to do more with what he was written to be. He remains one of my favorite Blue Rangers of all time.
The brave new world out there, my friend.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Alicia, Andrew, Brandon, Caroline, Daisy, Donnie, Emilia, Gwen, Caitlin, Matthew, Megley, Mia T. Toon, Nerdy Disney, our friend Barney, Velveteen. Thank you to all of my Rainbow Line passengers. See you!